Hello again, everyone, and welcome to this penultimate GPW today from Gulfstream Park West. Jason Blewett, Ron Nicoletti. Hope your Thanksgiving and holiday weekend is going well as we settle in, Ronnie, for day number 39 of 40.
One more day to go, but we got an 11 race card this afternoon, and that Rainbow Six starting to build over $100,000. Lots of exciting stuff going on here for the final 2 days at the Gulfstream Park West meeting.
Yeah, this show, at least early on, is all about, well, carryover central. Stronach 5 had some prices win yesterday. Nobody solved the Friday, November 23rd Stronach 5. That means we've got a carryover, and we handled just over 100,000 of just under 90,000, 88 and change. So we'll look forward to playing the Stronach 5 once again. That has been a very fun and popular wager. Things are also very tight in the jockey standings, although to be fair, it was more of an atypical quiet day for Edgar Zayas, Paco, and Amisael here yesterday. I think Edgar was the only one that walked away with a victory, as he now has 46.
Yeah, we're so used to these top 3-4 guys getting 4 or 5 victories a day, or 3 or 4 at least, or a couple. And so Edgar's still leading by 3 with Paco Lopez right there. Got this last couple of days. So besides the racing, we got this exciting jockey challenge going on. And, of course, the trainer's pretty close, too, except Safi took a little lead, right?
Indeed he did. Safi in front of Marcus Vitale by 2 now. And then we've got Tens Are Wild towards that race to finish potentially third between Antonio, Victor, and trainer Kathleen O'Connell as well. And a busy day near the upper echelon of this colony. Edgar Zayas, 9 calls. Paco, 8 calls. And Amisael, 6 calls. So they will be frequent competitors this afternoon, and you'll have to work your way through the races, the many races on this 11-race program in which all 3 of those guys have live mounts. Here's a rundown as well as we continue with that carryover theme. We do have the Super High 5 beginning in the first in about an hour's time, 3,500 and some change. That coincides naturally with the opening of the early pick 5 for just 50 cents. And again, Ronnie, 6 figures and growing in the Rainbow.
Yeah, the Rainbow 6, 103,000 going in. Remember, if it's not hit today, mandatory payout Sunday, closing day at Gulfstream Park West. And, of course, we ended with the late pick 5. And once again, if the late pick 5 doesn't get hit, there'll be a mandatory payout and that tomorrow on Sunday.
Yeah, and some big fields on today's card as we move on to the action here on day 39. Another perfect day. I mean, as far as the weather, Ronnie, for a Saturday at this time of the year, does it get any better than what we have here in Miami Gardens?
No, it's been spectacular. A little bit of humidity has gone down, so it just makes it beautiful. I know my dog drags me around in the morning. Instead of me walking him, she's walking me. So certainly good weather. We've got the fast main track, the firm turf course, and it looks like we're going to end the weekend with that kind of weather, too. Check the weather for Sunday. It looks very similar.
And a good scene setter in terms of just field size for the opening leg of the Saturday early pick 5. I've got a $12 ticket coming your way that basically goes 3 and 2 in each of the legs down through my single in race number 5. I'm just going to take a shot and single the Dow, who, can I say, is plummeting to 8,000. Does that work for you, Ronnie?
Yeah, my old plummeting, yeah, going down there. And that is the number 9, Fast Eddie E.
Fast Eddie E, unquestionably the horse to beat in that race for good connections in Yvonne Belsour. So without further ado, we'll talk about this first field today on the turf at 7.5 furlongs, a 3-and-up filly mare, 2 lifetime claimer, in which I don't know who will be favored. Trying to come up with a winner here might be futile. That no one is in really good form. This is a very, very treacherous race as far as the early pick 5 goes. I saw Paco with the 9 Freckles Con. I've got about a gazillion freckles as well, so maybe a hunch play there. And I've got a horse that's got some early speed. I just thought of that.
I like that. It's pretty good. I'm like, I wish I would have thought of it. So, I mean, you're absolutely right about this race here. If you have a chance and you're putting that early pick 5 ticket together, you might want to go deep in this race. I did end up on the number 3 horse in here, So Fresh, who's turning back to 7.5 furlongs, responded last time out to the drop down, went up, stalked the pace, finished 4th against this same level, and that was going a mile into 16th, and I thought of that performance, I put this one on top of my ticket.
All right, decent post. Antonio Sano trying to make a race of it here. Not technically out of the battle for leading trainer. We'll see if he can improve upon that meet victory total of 10 wins. Moving on to the second, we'll hit the main for the first time today at 6.5 furlongs, and we've got a $10,000 maiden claimer. And in the case of the 2-stage review, I have got trainer Monica McGooey sweeping the early double today. today. Again, this is almost the dirt counterpoint or part to the first race, Ronnie. There is no one really to trust here. You and I both praying that it's a 2-1 here with stage review over the firster.
Yeah, cutting back to 6.5 furlongs on the main track, stalked the pace hard. That was against those 10 maidens. That was going a mile in the 16th on the turf. When in doubt, I always go for the turf to dirt angle when you can't figure things out. And the one arching, a daughter of Arch Warrior, couldn't have scripted an easier spot to start our campaign. So maybe Leo Minot wins this with a first-time starter. So 2-1 for Jason and myself.
Yeah, inside post all the way in the second. A very soft and modest-looking 10K maiden claimer. We stay on the dirt. We stay with the maiden 10s. We bring on the 2-year-olds in Saturday's third here on a sunny and clear afternoon at GPW. 3/4 the distance in the third race. And, well, you and I will just take the exacta box with the number 5, Ebrio, capping our respective tries. I landed on the 3-wide trust, who at least took a step forward in that most recent race for trainer Oscar Gonzalez.
Yeah, got bumped a little bit at the start, finished third against those 12-5 maidens, going 5.5. As you mentioned, we got our exacta flip-flop. No choice, hoping to bounce back for trainer Kathleen O'Connell. Followed a really nose defeat, couple of starts back with a total clunker last time out as the favorite. See if this one bounces back. I really respect the connections, and I think those might be the logical two. And as you mentioned, we got Embryo in third. You know, it's second in front of Y Trust. So you like Y Trust, I think you had this one on the ticket.
Yeah, I think a real good sign that Edgard is back aboard for Kathleen on the 6, no choice, because that loss, as you noted, at 5-2 last time was a bad one, beaten over 30 lengths. I just don't see Kathleen giving another leg up to Edgard if she didn't feel as though whatever was going on in that race with that colt was corrected for today's start in the third. Fourth race, in the meantime, is another 6-furlong, $10,000 maiden claimer, and these are 2-year-old fillies here in the fourth race. Towards the outside, I'm just taking a flyer here. A barn I like in Oscar Gonzalez, and a second-time starter with the 8 Roses for Martina. Off an 8 buyer in a race, Ronnie. Let's be honest and frank here. Somebody buyers, high 20s, low 30s, they may win this one by open lengths.
Yeah, you know, and I could understand putting that horse on your ticket there, but I did go with the number 2 in here, Damn Locks, who's turning back to a sprint after tracking the pace, weakening to finish 5th. That was a distant 5th that it was. 12-5 maidens going a 2-turn mile. That was on that sealed, sloppy track. So I threw that one on the ticket. And talking about Oscar Gonzalez, you know, a great trainer. I threw him on the ticket with Sunset Stummers, the daughter of Handsome Mike, by Scat Daddy, debuting for Oscar. Let's show you a stat on him. With his 2-year-old, first-time starter, sprints in the dirt, limited sampling. He's 2 for 15, 13%, 47% in the money, but got that positive return of investment. So maybe you're looking for a horse like that, you know, has been working okay for its bottom-level debut.
And trainer Jaime Mejia has another sort of short-price contender in the 9, Tong Shu, as that barn picked up yet another win here yesterday. They've got a meet total of 9. I'll tell you, their Gladiator King ran a big race in the first. He looks like a colt that's got a future on the grass.
Yeah, and I was watching him warm up, and I don't think he's totally cranked up yet. I think he's got a lot more to offer, and that horse is pretty nice, and it's his son of Curlin, so you got to like that. So.
I know you're a fan of those Curlin babies. I don't think we've got any running on today's card, but we do have a Bernardini, a Cantharos, and an Into Mischief coming up in the this afternoon's 5th race, as in terms of just, I think, overall form and appeal, we go up a little in class here. At least there's some solid recent form to dig into in this upcoming Saturday 5th, a 3 lifetime $8,000 claimer at 7.5 furlongs. And I'm looking for the Dow, the number 6 horse off A Win Will Bring You, and a win notably over this turf course, shipping in for trainer Jorge Abreu to hopefully take a step forward. He's still lightly raced with only a handful of starts under his belt, and the next logical spot is this 3 lifetime claimer for the 6th, the Dow, who I gave a few extra points, though he's going up in class, that he could ship in and handle a sometimes quirky turf course that shippers have a difficult time with.
You see what he said there? Dow going up a couple of points, and I actually used in my analysis how corny we both are. I said the Dow was rising to the non-winners of 3 lifetime level. So we corned it up with that horse, right, as usual. But I did go with the horse that we had on top, and that's Fast Eddie E, who's your single, actually, in your early pick 5 ticket, who's dropping to the 8 level after tracking the pace. He weakened. He finished 7. It was really a solid group of 20 optional claimers at the distance. His current speed figures, he jumps off the page at you with the speed figures he's been posting. I thought he was the logical one, and so did you, and we both have the 3 set me up on our ticket.
Absolutely. And for Fast Eddie E, I wonder if it's a case of they're just daring somebody to jump in and take this horse for 8,000. But I'll tell you, we've been impressed. And impressed on a steady basis with Yvonne Belsour. He's done a good job at wheeling and dealing in the claiming game here in South Florida over the past few months. Just like Fast Eddie E, we're quickly through the first 5 races. We'll take a little time out. We've got the Rainbow Six after this.
Whether you're at home or at the track, have a stake in the race when you bet with ExpressBet. Sign up for an ExpressBet online betting account and receive up to a $500 sign-up bonus.
And we've had that steady buildup over the last week and change of running some of the newer commercials, the Claiming Crown and the Classico. And as it stands, just a week out, that's right, from the opening over at Gulfstream Park of the primetime winter meet. Very much looking forward to next Saturday, December 1st. But let's get some shipping money, you know?
Well, we got a $43.20 ticket here for our Rainbow Six. Went 3 deep in here, and I think really like expecting the number 3 Geoscience to run well in there, but I did go 3 deep because Geoscience is a first-time starter. And then a big scratch in race number 7 of New Year. That was my best bet of the afternoon, so I'm going 2 deep there. And my long shot comes in the last race today, and that is the one Bragg Dude, 8-1 on the morning line, dropping to the 10 level. Paco Lopez. Now, this horse is 0 for 20, but this is the spot where this horse is supposed to win. So 43.20 for me. See if we can get some money. And remember, just a note, if it's not hit today, mandatory payout tomorrow, but you got a good chance to bring it down today for only 20 cents.
2-year-olds ring in that opening leg of Saturday's penultimate day in the Rainbow Six here at GPW, a race dominated by basically first and second time starters. And among the firsters, I have a feeling, haven't heard anything, but the 3 Geoscience for Efren Loza. If there was going to be one firster that is supposedly a good thing going in, I think it's probably Geoscience.
Yeah, we could back that up with a stat with Efren Loza Jr. with his 2-year-old first-time starters on the dirt. He's 9 for 29, 31%. He's in the money 66% of the time, and a positive return of investment. That's with his 2-year-old first-time starters. Just looks like the logical horse in here, and you're getting our leading rider, Edgar Zayas, in the saddle. But as I mentioned in my Rainbow Six, because it's a first-time starter, you might want to go a couple other different ways.
Sure,
in here.
Absolutely. And I look down, Jamalologist, obviously the stallion of the 3 Geoscience, and I think, well, that horse trained by Todd Pletcher, a Wood winner, and Todd also a champion, Uncle Mo, to an unbeaten 2-year-old season some 8 years ago. It's hard to believe it's been that long, and Uncle Mo has got a first-time starter. The race, the 5, Moochie Man, and we just want to remind everybody as we bring up a workout from back towards the latter half of October. These workouts over at xbtv.com are invaluable. The database over there, when I'm looking for just a random horse, a Moochie Man, by the way, on the inside of everybody, a respectable breeze for Jen Antonucci from the gate, but the database is so extensive. You go, oh, there's no way they have a workout for that horse. Sure enough, there. And here's Moochie Man, who does have Miguel Vasquez. Love those Uncle Mo horses, even though I went in a different direction.
Yeah, and, you know, the Uncle Mo, I had concern, you know, sold for $100,000 as, you know, $125 was the stud fee.
Right.
I don't know what that means. You know, you're more of a guy.
Nerd. Pedigree nerd.
Yeah, pedigree nerd. I didn't want to say it, he did. But I was so tempted to put this horse in the ticket, but I backed off because when I saw Geoscience, I said, I think I got the right one here. And then I added Live by the Day, who's breaking on the outside, but a second back for Mark Cassie, turning back to 3/4. And how about WW Springtime in here? I had some interest. This horse by trainer Scott Becker, he's got a couple of horses in running today. And this is a gelded son of Cantharos. He races with the blinkers off. He shows a bullet work here. So I thought maybe this horse, he was running on the synthetic at Arlington, and that was a pretty good race he ran in last time. Maybe this one can run.
And Scott's already picked up a win here with a horse shipping in from the Windy City. In fact, a trainer who's based in Chicago but has a string, obviously, in South Florida. Some 10 horses, and we wish him the best of luck with his young crop of 2-year-olds. Live for the Day, the one that I like, off that improved effort and experience here, but a good effort going 7 furlongs last time out. Late pick 5 begins next in race number 7. This is a fun little 2-year-old maiden claimer on the turf as we start the late pick 5. But when it comes down to it, 2 of the biggest keys for me, I've got Zerpa and my buddy Amisao Jaramillo. Do you like their horse, Ronnie, in race number 8, the number 6 Go-Go Jack? Do you have that horse on top?
Race number 8, I have second. I got special counsel on top in there. But Go-Go Jack, a good stat. We're going to show you that when we get to that race. But this race is the one that had me a little bit confused. I mentioned my big scratch in here of the number 9 horse in here, who I really like, my best bet. So I used a couple I backed up with. I used 11, 5, and 7.
And am I really off base and off kilter for calling the 9th race basically the Pegasus World Cup of $8,000 turf claimers? I mean, were you saying to yourself, I can't believe how much firepower and back class is in that field for today's 9th race on the turf for 8K?
Yeah, no, we've seen so many of these, but they're just so good. You got Wake Forest, you got Lay That Pistol Down, you got Squadron, just a great race in there.
Yeah.
I did go with Lay Your Pistol Down, but Wake Forest, the morning line favorite. If that horse won that race, I wouldn't be shocked one bit.
He is a must-use as he dips in for 8 Gs. A solid sequence. I like the second half of the card, the Rainbow and the late pick 5, a little more than the first half, if I'm being honest. And one of the reasons, the turf races we have in the latter portion of the day, and that certainly includes race number 7, where you've got some horses going up in class, some new shooters as well. Now, one of those horses going up in class is the 7 Birdie Me. This horse really ran well, and you could see for yourself back on October 21st, no speed whatsoever. This horse broke alertly, just had no speed at all. And you watch him, no position, trailing a good ways as the field turns for home here. And you're going, all right, well, that horse is on the lead. That horse just spurted away for Carlo Vaccarezza. Well, this Birdie Me, as we've got him highlighted on the far outside, no, he's got no chance, Oh, wait, he might win this race. I know he debuted for 20. Very, very good effort, losing a tough one here by a head bob.
Yeah, I had the 9 that day.
I liked them too.
Yeah, remember,
you know what?
We both liked them.
That was a late pick 5 carryover day, and that race was the 7th of, I think, either 10 or 11. So that was a late pick 5 race, and we both played.
Yeah, and it's a lateral move. You know, I mean, even though it's stepping up, I just think that he's not as outclassed as you might think, seeing 20 to 35. So I have him on my ticket. But I did go with the number 11, Just War. He's listed as a gelding now. He's a son of Declaration of War. By who? Warfront. He's dropping into the maiden claiming ranks. He faced maiden special weight competition in a pair of turf races in the Bluegrass State. Brendan Walsh, really respect him. Edgard in there. But I want to hear about the one. I went back and look. I see it's John Service.
Yeah.
Blinkers on. I didn't use that one on my ticket.
Yeah, this is just a pedigree stab off the sire with Noble Mission here, with a horse debuting on the turf, who's by a stallion, who's a freshman stallion here in the States, who's a full brother to Frankel, who won multiple Group 1s. I said, you know what? Nick's been riding well. Juarez, he's really picked things up, and I think he's at a good place. And good trainer. The rail horse will be a respectable price, but undoubtedly, I have tons like you of respect for Brendan Walsh too, and that horse is a must use. Picking up Edgar Zayas, the 11 Just War. Good race though to start the late pick 5.
Yeah, and with the scratching and on that I keep hopping back to, but it just makes it more wide open and more fun to bet in my estimation.
All right, so no Zerpa on top for Ronnie, but I've got Zerpa singled along with Amisael in Saturday's 8th as we're back on the main with these filly mare 3 and up 2 lifetime claimers at 7 furlongs. And to me, Go Jack, yeah, horse hasn't run basically since Labor Day weekend, but when I'm looking at a 43% barn with over 100 starters on November 24th after Thanksgiving, that's good enough for me with one of the best riders in the country to just stand alone.
Yeah, let's back that up with a stat on Gilberto Zerpa. 50% drop in claiming price, all levels on the dirt. He's 5 for 12, 42%, 67% in the money, $1.70 return on investment. That's with that 50% drop in claiming price, which he doesn't do that often, but he does exceptionally well. So I just thought Gojo Jack was a major player. Of course, he's going to be favored in there, but I did go with the 4 Special Counsel. A sharp 12-5 maiden winner during March. Drops to this level today. First start, he chased the pace, he faded. That was in the 25 claimer going a 1-turn mile at Gulfstream back on April 26th. It's a daughter of big drama. Working well for the return. Going to try and beat the drop down with Go Jack.
All right, little Paco riding. And if you can't root for veteran trainer Milt Wolfson, no matter who you like, I don't know who you can root for. Special counsel for Ronnie for the mild upset there in race number 8 against Zerpa. Race number 9, again, kind of a tongue-in-cheek, but there's also a real nugget of truth. This $8,000 claimer, really, I think, for this meet, this is like a little Pegasus turf claiming race here. And a mile and a 16th, a former Grade 2 multiple stakes winner in the 2 Wake Forest, who's now 8 and looking for his 9th lifetime win. And let's not forget his sort of and key rival and favorite on the outside, who you have, who's 9, the 11. Lay that pistol down.
Yeah, this one, a 7-time winner at the distance, and that's what sold me on this horse. He won his only previous race on this course. He returns for Jorge Navarro, fresh off that productive campaign. He's 8 starts, 2 wins, 3/3 this year. Want to show you a stat with Mr. Navarro. Layoff of 61 to 180 days, all claiming levels on the turf. Right here at Gulfstream Park. So we narrowed it down. He's 5 for 13, 38%, 77% in the money, and still has a positive return of investment. Lay that pistol down. But, boy, if Wake Forest wakes up and shows some of that back class, this one wins it.
He's got a good post. Gargan's been good here throughout the year. He left horses year-round on this circuit. Just a good trader, top apprentice. I'm going to take him in a narrow call over both the number 3 Squadron, who's very dangerous, coming right back for the 8Gs with Paco, and you've got to respect the 9-year-old by more than ready you have on top. A good matchup between those 3.
Yeah, and Squadron, as you mentioned, trained by Yvonne Belsour, and we just told you how we really respect the job he does. Boy, I would never leave one off. And you got Paco. These guys got to wake up today. Didn't have many multiple win days yesterday.
No, it was shocking to get through the first 6, and it was only a 9-race card, and to have not a single win from Edgard, who would come back to win the 7th with Vincero, but Paco and Amiseal, it just hasn't happened often here this meet in Miami Gardens. Moving on to the 10th, some hard hitters on the turf. We segue right into a pretty salty field of some older pros and some battle-nosed veterans here on the dirt, going a mile and 70 yards. And I wanted to pull, and I decided to pull the last out win for the number 3 Browns Gap, because I am just a really big fan of this horse. I mean, he is a real salt-of-the-earth type son of Harlington, who basically, outside of a couple of races, has consistently, over the last 8 months or so, run for this bottom-level $6,250 claiming price. And he, at this level, for the horses that go long around 2 turns, is about as reliable as they come. Likes the track here too, Ronnie. I know that's not lost on you.
And he's doing it for new connections. He moved to the Saffie Joseph Jr. barn, our leading trainer right now. And he really likes this track, and I put him on there. But I tried and get, well, you know, I'm sure you got the 6 Bama Bound on your ticket too, who's really run well over this track. He's got 4 starts, 2 wins, 2 seconds. Returns for Jorge Navarro, looking to flaunt the speed at his most accomplished distance. He's have 11 wins and 22 starts at this distance. He's a hard-knocking 8-year-old, and he has Edgard Zayas. So here we got a good matchup here with the Bama Bound and Browns Gap. I think they're the logical two. I threw WW Concerto in there. CC Lopez going to be there for the return riding assignment.
Chucky picking up, I think it was win 4,271 here yesterday afternoon when he won the 8th race, our first race in the Stronach 5. Knocked a lot of people out, I must think, with that Heaven's Humor, I think, by Drosselmeyer. And Chucky just taking a quick look at the all-time leaders. He's 60th all-time in wins, was only 1 victory behind Billy Billy Hartack.
Yeah, now I always remember CeCe Lopez. You think in New Jersey, you think in speed. He's the first guy that came to your mind. He's been around a long time and a really nice guy. Always has a big smile on his face.
Love Chucky. Absolutely. Glad he's doing okay, and hopefully he can drum up a little more business here as we get on over to the big track. But let's wrap things up. Speaking of business, one more race to take care of here. Race number 11, a $10,000 maiden claimer for 3 and up on the turf at 7.5 furlongs. So a little bit of a disagreement. Oh, we got your long shot here, right?
Yeah, and that was Bragg Dude, and I explained it a little earlier. Just what my thought was: dropping to the 10 level, turning back to 7.5 furlongs, getting the services of Paco Lopez, hoping those karma changes finally help produce the elusive maiden victory. Nobody scares me in this race, so I just thought with those moves, Bragg Dude maybe scores over a horse. I like horses that have names like this. Hey, Tony. Yeah, right.
How many Tonys did you grow up with, by the way?
Well, a lot. Well, we called him Anthony. We had Little Anthony, Big Anthony, Anthony the big nose, Anthony the small nose. That's how you separated them.
Of course. Great stories. And your nickname, by the way?
Baconhead.
Yeah, good old Baconhead because of the hair?
Yeah, the wavy hair back then. They teased me relentlessly because you wanted to look like Peter Gunn or James Bond with that slick hair.
All right.
Like yours.
Oh, thanks. Got it slicked down, ready to go. In fact, you look good. Still got that head of hair, folks. And let's focus in on today's 11 races, beginning, of course, with track announcer Jason Beam, who's coming up in just a few moments with those scratches and changes.
One of the world's most anticipated thoroughbred racing events of the year returns. The third annual Pegasus World Cup Invitational at Gulfstream Park in South Florida. Drawing competition from around the world with a $16 million purse split between 2 Grade 1 races. On the dirt and on the turf. Experience the incredible fashion, spectacular world-class service and entertainment, and the unrivaled adrenaline of the Pegasus World Cup Invitational. Saturday, January 26th at Gulfstream Park. Get your tickets now at PegasusWorldCup.com.